Today we're diving into the world of Rising Sun, an independent festival that is more than just music and art. It's about connection, creativity and community. I'm here at Revolver Lane with festival founders and friends, Elise and Sam, to discuss the inspiration behind Rising Sun, the magic that makes it unique, and oh my gosh, we are...
what the hell's going on now?
Yes, the beauty of being right next to Revolver upstairs. So we will discuss the magic that makes this festival unique and what's in store for the January 2026 edition. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Very happy to be here.
So let's get started. I wanted to, set the scene a little bit. How many festivals have you guys been to?
I was thinking on this before. I think somewhere between 35 and 40, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe a little less, but kind of similar. Like a lot of the same ones were repeat offenders, so definitely been to certain festivals a lot. But yeah, a lot of different ones, and yeah, pretty broad spectrum, I think. Yeah.
What's been your favourite festival memory? Something that really sticks with you?
I think a lot of my favourite memories may be too inappropriate to share today. But I think one that really stands out is just the kind of feeling that I had experiencing a doof for the first time, which was Strawberry Fields. It was a pretty amazing experience, just kind of being exposed to a wonderland where previous festivals that I'd been to just hadn't had that kind of feeling that you get when everyone's just feeling so free and it's all colourful and it's just so beautiful. Yeah, you can't really beat that kind of experience.
I think it was Chapel Street, by the way. I've seen some stuff already just sitting here out the windows.
Location.
It's like you could sit here all day. It's amazing. I felt like I had a pretty spiritual experience as well. I was at a festival with some friends. Elise was there actually, and we were playing hacky sack, and someone hacked the sack really far. I got it on the back of my heel, wearing these exact boots, and it went flying through the air and landed in an unsuspecting guy's drink, like 15 meters away, and all splashed up in his face. And his friends just like buckled with laughter and then started shouting out that it was his birthday as well. That's probably my favourite festival experience.
Oh my gosh.
It was, it's definitely etched in my brain forever. But I think, just shenanigans and the silliness and just, kind of leaving all the other stuff behind and just getting really, really locked into being weird and silly for a weekend that's my favourite part, I think.
Amazing. I love both of those stories. What do you think? Oh my gosh. Disclaimer for everyone listening, we are in a new spot and there's a lot of noises. I'm not sure if it's coming through on the mics.
So ambient.
What do you think, you talk about like Strawberry creating like a wonderland and then, that memory with the hacky sack, that obviously sticks with you. But what do you think like really is the difference between a festival that's just like good or average to something that really delivers that life-changing or meaningful moment?
Good question. Do you want to?
I'll go.
Yeah.
I think a good or a great festival to some people may be just amazing music that knocks your socks off, and that's really amazing, can be a great experience. But I think what can make it really truly life-changing, I think, is that kind of the ability to...
I know where you were going with this, but yeah. No, I know where you're going with this though, but like it's that kind of cohesive experience, right? And I feel like where you were going with this was that, when it's awesome to have really great music, and that's obviously such a huge part of it. But it's when it's like, you need, if you want to step away from the dance floor or whatever, and it's something else, and you feel like you're transported into a place that's like, it's hard to explain, but you know it when you feel it, and it's like it's this place that's set up, to just be for that space, for that time, and you can tell that there's been so much effort put into all of those little elements, and you can feel that, and you can feel the team that's created it has created something that is like every aspect is thought about, and everything works together to enhance your experience and to make it, fun and enjoyable and easy and all of those things. How do you feel about that?
Yes, that. And yeah, I guess the user experience is at the forefront of the organizer's mind, I guess, and that's how we feel. And I think from a patron perspective, it would feel like you just have that every part of the festival is very considered and thoughtful. And it's more than just music, it's all of the things, and I think we provide all of those things, and we really find all of the little bits important. It's not just about the music, it's about the art and the wellness and like all of the playful aspects. And yeah, I think I would also say that the connection that you can or the environment that you can foster to be able to connect with people is also super important. And I think being able to connect and make new friends is what makes it really special.
Yeah, festivals have clearly been a big part of your life, and it's nice to hear you've had such positive experiences, and I know all around the world as well. Take us through the drivers behind Rising Sun. What prompted you to start something of your own?
Do you want to tell this story?
Sure. I was in Europe and Elise was back here, and we were talking a lot, and the question came up, like, just getting deep and getting a bit, getting into the weeds of things, and sort of like, what would you do if you could jump into anything and do any kind of work, or if you could dive into any kind of field or whatever. And Elise was like, I want to do something with festivals. And then I was like, well, let's just do it. Let's like, we both loved it so much, and I'd always like sort of thought, I'd wanted to do something with it as well, ever since like going to similar to you, first Doofs and stuff, and you're like, wow, this is incredible. I want to keep going to it, but I also want to contribute to that and be part of that conversation, and somehow, be part of that whole ecosystem. And then we met up in Europe, and we were in Iceland, and we had like a couple of weeks on the road and a lot of driving and just a lot of talking about our experiences at all these different festivals we've been to, like the good things and the bad things, and like started to kind of build this framework that was like really, like Elise said before, like really kind of user experience centric. So it was like, we knew what kind of music and all that sort of stuff we'd like to have there, but it's also about like, how does it feel to be in the line at the festival? How does it feel to buy a ticket? How does it feel to like walk around at night? And all those sort of things. And, thinking about all the choke points we'd had at certain festivals, and then those experiences that were just like so magical, and like trying to find a way to combine all the best and lose all the worst parts of that. I think that's sort of how we've approached it since we started, really. Yeah.
Amazing. And how long was it between, I guess, that time in Iceland, between you actually getting started and working on Rising Sun?
I think it was about, how long was it? Was it about a year?
A year, bit over.
Yeah, I think we got back from that holiday and really like sat on that kind of concept and idea for a while. And then COVID hit, and we had a lot of spare time at home where we just kind of brainstormed even more. And out of that was born our very first very small invitational event that we did, that you were there, and that was really special. And I think without that kind of time where we had just the two of us thinking about what we wanted and how we wanted to do it, I don't know when that first one would have happened. And it was even more special because when we were able to actually have the event, everyone had been closed up in their houses for so long, so it was even more special to have that connection with everyone, and that having that feeling of bringing people happiness, I think really spurred us along for the next few years of a bit of hardship and struggles getting to the next point. So you just always kind of remember that feeling of bringing people that joy.
And on that, I was lucky enough to be at the first Rising Sun, and I just remember from the moment I got there, like all the decorations, everything was so carefully planned out, and your passion was so evident and coming through in every aspect of the multi-day event. How has your vision evolved over time?
I think we've been really blessed to expand our team and have a very committed and passionate team that we work with. They're actually all volunteers, as we're actually set up as a not-for-profit, and you know, they bring so much of their own ideas and passion and all of that magic to the table as well. So I think our vision I don't think it's changed. I think it's just expanded with all these brilliant minds that we have involved now. And I also think that the original concept that we have and the original ideas, you know, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like, there are so many things that have not come to fruition yet that are still on the table that we're going to bring in future years. So we're just building it all up. I don't know if you'd add anything to that.
Yeah, I guess, pretty much sums it up, I reckon. But yeah, you know, and with the not-for-profit stuff as well, that was kind of you know, we went from, you know, throwing that first party to, you know, doing some club nights and stuff, and it was like, the goal was always to do the multi-day events, and like that was like, you know, how we, you know, sort of planning to get there. And yeah, kind of growing in that team size meant like, figuring out not-for-profit makes sense because, you know, we all really came at it from, being volunteers, and we work our 9 to 5s so we can do this. You know, it's like, this is where we funnel this into. And if, you know, if I have to work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life so I can keep doing this, I'll do that. It just, that's like, that was always like where everyone's head was at, and everyone that came on board kind of understood that, that was sort of the kind of attitude we needed to bring into it. It is such a passion project, and for the love of it, and money as like a profit making enterprise has never been at the core of it. So it's actually set us up, I think, really well, not financially, but certainly in the way we make decisions. It's always about like, what is going to be the best, craziest, weirdest thing we can do with the limited funds that we've got. So it's never about cutting corners. And Elise is always like, she's like the vibe czar. Like, she's like, credit to you, shout out Elise. Just like, in terms of like where and what we'll compromise on, it's never experience. It's never like, oh, well, I don't know if we can do that. You know, if we do that, then like, we're not going to break even. It's like, no, that's the right decision, because why would we put on this event if we don't do what we are? You know, like, we're just another event in that case. But like, that's, I think, what makes us special and different, is like, we'll just go 100% at, you know, making it weird and silly, sort of at all costs. So I think, that's been our evolution, and I think hoping to continue to grow that, and certainly start to pay our team members as well would be amazing. Because we have some really, really talented people that we get to work with now, which is so crazy and amazing.
I'd love to talk more about your team, particularly given they're all volunteers and clearly very passionate themselves about Rising Sun. How have you managed to, you know, grow your team over the years?
Do you want me to start on this one?
Sure.
Just like, the coolest thing I think has been is that like, none of us were friends before we started doing this together. I was working a festival in Gippsland, Inward Goods, and I was DJing, and I was a videographer as well, and I was videoing this guy eating potato salad because he was just really hungover. It was really funny to watch, and we got chatting, and we started talking about Rising Sun, and then he told me about a friend of his who was like this incredible, like, she did a bunch of decor. She'd done stuff for Porn & Co. and for Babylon Festival, and we met and we just really hit it off and sort of started talking about what our vision was, and she just clicked with it straight away. Shout out Jenny. And she came on and sort of, kind of really took what we were thinking and just like made it bigger and better and more incredible than we could have imagined, and just like instantly understood like where we were trying to take things, and has been with us since, you know, really early days. And kind of everyone else that's really joined the team as well has kind of come on in a similar way. We meet them at an event, or they've come to one of our events, and then they get the vision, and they get, you know, the intention of it all. And it still kind of blows my mind, like how many people just want to be part of it and want to be involved in it and want to contribute. It's pretty incredible, and it doesn't happen, without a huge amount of volunteer work. So now we're all really good friends, but I think there's been a benefit in like not having social dynamic there already before we started working together. I think it can be really difficult to, work with your friends sometimes, especially when, everyone's asking a lot of you, and it's a tough gig doing all of this. So if people are really just there because it's 100% what they want to do, then it kind of makes that a lot easier, I think.
Yeah, I think I would also say that because of that, and because we've brought people together that have very specific passions in the thing that they're doing for the festival, means that everyone is like finding the joy in what they're doing, rather than some groups come together and want to be all music or whatever it may be. But we've really brought together people that, maybe they want to be involved in a few different areas, but they also just have their thing, and they're so fucking good at their thing, and it's like magical to watch. It's just amazing to see people resonating with what we are doing so much that they want to come and work their butts off, because they really do. Like, we're so lucky to have our team, and I don't even know how we pulled off the last event. The size of our team was so small, and we've expanded this year, and it's been so amazing. So we're really blessed.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well done. You talked a bit about budget, obviously being a challenge for a small festival like Rising Sun. There is a lot of talk across the local music industry about festivals struggling a lot right now. What is your take on that, especially like how it might impact Rising Sun?
I think there's a few main kind of issues and struggles that festivals are facing at the moment. I think one of them is definitely the red tape surrounding getting permits approved. It's only gotten more difficult over the years, and we've definitely found it very difficult in that space. And I think some of the larger festivals can get away with a lot, and it actually just trickles down and makes it harder for the smaller events to get off the ground without the money and the backing and the staff that the larger ones have. But even some of the larger ones are facing like this issue as well. And I think the other issue that I see is, I think probably an after effect of COVID, which is the buyer behaviour at the moment just means that they wait till the very last minute. And I think some, even though we love ticket resale platforms, I think they do negatively affect that a little bit. And it just means that for us, we have to take a massive leap of faith, and, not having the money up front to run. So, I think those are the two main things that come to mind for me.
Yeah, I probably tend to agree. I think in terms of what we've experienced personally, the process to get out there and run an outdoor event, there are so many factors that have to go right. Like, you've got to find the right space, you've got to find someone willing, if you don't have your own space and the money to purchase your own space, you've got to find someone willing to help throw an event like this. And there's obviously, there's stigma around these kind of events as well, that, there's no real delineation between what's a quality event and what's, classed as like something that's, rough, I guess. I don't know. But I think there's that, and then it's like, once you get to that phase, even if you can convince someone to do that, then you've got to go through a permit approval process through a bunch of government agencies and bodies that don't always talk to each other very well either, that don't always understand the rules that they're enforcing, and that kind of have a blanket approach, whether you're a property developer or a huge event or a tiny event that's like a not much bigger than a large wedding. It's like you kind of all fall into this one category, and there's no real, I guess, there's no framework, and it's kind of, you have to figure out what it is that they want you to do, and then a lot of the times, like the people, like I said, enforcing the rules don't know what the process should be. So it's very convoluted. It's often, timelines are often very complex. All these things have to line up, and if one agency requests for information at the wrong time, then all of a sudden the domino effect happens and the next few steps can't happen and you can't get it over the line in time. So yeah, we experienced that at the first site we attempted to run at, which was a full sort of greenfield site, which required, obviously, we needed to supply water and power and everything, like, it was bare bones, and that fell through at the last minute. We had one cancellation and then a whole string of sort of bad luck right before the next time we were about to run, and we got really, really lucky when someone on our team, Angus, shout out Angus, found basically another venue that he knew a sort of smaller event was running at, and they were really good, and that's in Balan. It's a much easier venue to run at, just with what they have in terms of infrastructure. But yeah, it was, I feel like without that we would still be struggling through the same processes, and yeah, I can definitely see why that's impacting a lot of events for sure.
It's amazing as well, because everyone buying tickets to events like this, they have no idea what's going on, and even for me, hearing from you now, like, I certainly didn't realize all those like bureaucratic challenges that you're facing.
The past 3 to 4 years of our life has been figuring out how to write permits, writing them, getting very slow feedback from all of the council and governing bodies around that, and it is a super frustrating experience, and that's why we've been throwing these events in town while we're trying to get these permits off the ground, and almost traumatic at times, some of the setbacks we've had, and but I'm honestly super proud of us because we've learnt so much in the process. But it's a really, really difficult process, and no one really sees that kind of behind the scenes stuff, and we don't really want them to. That's not what that's for. But it's really, really difficult, but we really hope to be able to keep expanding. Like, we want to keep the event small, but I think at some point we will outgrow this amazing venue that we've been so lucky to find now, and we will be back trying to get those permits over the line at a different venue. So we've got that to look forward to in the future.
Are there any resources in place to help you navigate these challenges? Like, do festivals talk to each other, like groups?
Yeah, we've had actually so much support from other festivals. Like, we wouldn't have gotten as far as we have without so many different people supporting us. Don't know if we want to shout out a few people, 100%. But I think Tanglewood, Steph from Tanglewood, really supported us and met up with us and really wanted to see us succeed, and it was amazing to have support from a festival like that we really think so highly of, and they're very similar to like the kind of thing that we want to be running, and she was amazing. And we've also had support from Wild Horses and Inward Goods, just like helping us with the mammoth work that goes into these permits. It's, the document was about 100 pages long that we prepared. So without the support of them, lending us things to review and that kind of thing, I don't think we would have ever gotten there. So, I'm excited to prop the next events up in the future because I want to pass that on as well.
100%. I mean, not much more to add to that, but just it's crazy. Like, you look at an event our size and it's like there's heaps going on. It's really cool, but like when we started, we had no idea, no idea what was in store for us. And I think
that's why we kept going. We had no idea.
It's ignorance, and then it's sunk cost fallacy, and you're like, well, we're here now. We may as well do it. We've got this great team around us now. Like, we want to keep hanging out, keep doing stuff. Yeah. But it's crazy. You look at all and any time I see a little event get off the ground, it's kind of like, it's like you salute it because it's like it's so hard. It's always really complex. Even if a bunch of things go right, it's like It is such a mammoth job. It is also the best. It is definitely the best.
Okay, good to end on a positive note there. I don't want to dwell too much on the negative, but yeah, no, that's all very interesting. Perhaps now we can talk about what's in store for your upcoming event.
Heaps.
I think, from my perspective, what makes Rising Sun very unique is all the immersive and interactive elements that you bring to the table. Can you tell us about those and how you get people involved?
Hello. Yeah, we it's always been part of it, and like we get really excited by this element of it, and I think like it came from when you're at an event. You know, like and Doof's a classic for this. I think Doof's are so silly, so weird and funny. You'd be on the dance floor and you'd see something crazy happen around you, and for me that always enhanced my dance floor experience. Like if the festival feels alive and weird and strange, then it's like I'm suddenly in there. I can be more present. I can have a better time. And we've been really inspired by like stuff like, I don't know if you're familiar with like Meow Wolf in the US. It's like this weird interactive art collective, and they make these crazy installations. They've got a few big ones in the US. And then even things like Cirque du Soleil, like, and stuff like that. There's just like kind of magic. You can't quite put your finger on what it is, but it's like weird and wonderful and all that sort of stuff. And so like that's kind of like, you know, that's the top shelf in that sort of space. And we kind of want to bring a bit of that energy into the festival. So yeah, we had a quest last year, and we've done a few of those sort of activities at events and stuff in the past. You know, we did like a witch techno event where we sacrificed a person on stage, and we had a bunch of rituals and stuff around that, and that was awesome. Just really weird, silly things to kind of like really suck people in. And you know, I think like even if you're not like right into those interactive play elements, we want to keep the bar pretty low, I think. So that, because I'm probably one of those people too, to be honest. Like, I'm not the first person to jump up and be like, oh, I want to do this thing, I want to play this game, I want to do that. I'm often happy to just be a bystander, but I think like having it being really accessible to everyone and really fun and silly in a way that doesn't feel like you have to overcommit or you have to be a character or you have to do any of that sort of stuff. It's like you can kind of just step into it and it's happening around you, and you can, you know, you can play with these elements of it all. And I think last year, like, because we designed the quest last year. This year we've got an amazing team who's like working on it and who's really clued into that sort of stuff. But last year we kind of thought we like sort of fumbled through it and pulled it together, and we were pretty blown away by the amount of people that got involved in it. We sort of thought it would be this kind of really small element, but people really ate it up. Yeah, it's definitely expanded this year, and got some super cool creatives helping run that.
I think I'd also say that a really fun part of creating the quest is it really helps with the brainstorming of the whole festival design and what the stages are going to be like and what the feeling's going to be like. The quest, we've decided, is kind of makes those decisions and runs the whole thing. It's like the storytelling of what's it going to tell us about Rising Sun and that world this year. So it's always a really fun way to like tell a new story and give people like an extra element to the weekend. So yeah, it's really exciting, and there's just so many other ideas for the future years as well. But this one's going to be really fun. And I think, as well as the quest, there's obviously so much other kind of interactive stuff as well. We've got like lots of lifestyle and wellness workshops and stuff, and a lot of like interactive art kind of thing, and like just so much to see and do and just be connected with throughout the festival. So yeah, we're really excited.
Can you expand more on, I guess, the health and well-being side? Obviously, being at a multi-day event, it's pretty important to balance like the high energy with moments of calm.
Yeah, definitely. I think like as well, you know, you're coming out from like, life's crazy busy. I don't think it's just us. Like sometimes it feels like just us, but I'll talk to all of my friends and I feel like everyone's just like, oh my God, life's so crazy. And I think it's nice to be able to, you know, not just like come to a party in the bush that's just like turbo for 3 days and then you go back to life and you're more exhausted than when you left. I think it's nice to be able to find a balance in there, and yeah, we had amazing uptake on the sort of health and wellbeing side last year. Like lots of people jumping into yoga and workshops and all that kind of stuff. There's, everything from that more wellness side of things, which is, those kind of yoga and other workshops in that sort of mindfulness space. But then also like maker workshops where you can, craft some jewelry and all that sort of stuff. I remember it was literally the start of the festival last year, and I'm running around like kind of nervous, like, got my radio on, trying to make sure everything's going okay. And then I get a radio from Elise and she's like, Sam, come over here. I'm like, oh God, what's going on? What's going on? And I walk over and she's in the wellness tent and she's making jewelry. And she's like, look at this.
Everyone had the most stressful year leading up to the event. And then the bump in was madness and lots of crazy things happened. And I was fully expecting not to have any time to do much over the weekend. Like I was going to be working. And then for some reason, like the festival had started, it was Friday afternoon. And I was like, I don't need to be anywhere. No one's radioing me right now. I just sat down at the wellness tent, started painting a pendant. And I was like, I'm so happy right now. I was just feeling so relaxed. I was like, I'm at my own festival, just chilling in the wellness tent. It was a great experience.
How many hours at the festival do you have time to enjoy yourself?
It definitely varies. Some moments are madness, and I do feel like we are always on. And I did actually have more time than I really thought that I was going to have to try and like take a step back and try and experience it as how a patron would, which is super important to improve and all of that kind of stuff. But I also think, my friends have been like, oh, why don't you just, put the radio down and like carve out some time to just be present. And I could do that because I have such a trusted team and professionals working and making sure everything's okay over the weekend. But also, it's my baby. Like, I don't want to put it down. I want to know everything that's happening at every moment. Like, yeah, it's a really special thing. So as much as I would love to be an attendee of the dream festival that I've created, I also just, want to make sure everything's okay. And like, that's the fun of it as well. Yeah.
I hope that, your passion and what people can expect is really shining through in this conversation, because I know I'm already feeling like jitters about what might be coming up. But can you describe the atmosphere at Rising Sun for someone who's never attended?
Words that come to mind are magical and like just electric, and very silly, colourful. I don't know, what would you say?
It is like the most safe and inclusive space I've ever been in. And I know like, yeah, sure, like, everyone would say that about their own event, but it was kind of mind-blowing because, you open it up to the public and you don't know what's going to happen. Like, anyone can buy a ticket. But it was, there were so many strangers there, and I still have people come up to me at other events that were like, oh, hey, were you part of that crew? I was at the festival this year, being like, it was the best weekend of my life. And to hear that from this thing that you work for, 5 years of work we put into that before it happened. And then to get that, it's kind of like, okay, it is worth doing this. It's, it's so worth all the tough times. And as an example, like I was doing videography there, and on the last day, I left my crazy expensive camera just like sitting up the back of the festival, and I walked away for like 2 hours, and I've never done anything like this. I'm like so paranoid about that sort of stuff. And I just knew, like, even amongst this sea of strangers, I was like, no one's going to mess with that. No one's going to touch it. No one's going to like, it was this feeling of like complete trust with everyone there, and everyone was like really looking after each other and being friendly, and everyone made new friends. It was just, it was utopian, and it's kind of like, it's hard to explain unless you kind of were there. Like, it was just, the vibe was immaculate. It was really good. Yeah.
It did really feel like you just be surrounded by family. I don't know. Everyone was just so connected and happy, and yeah, just willing to look out for everyone, and yeah, it was just such a beautiful space to be in. Yeah, very hard to describe, but people should just come and find out for themselves.
Is there a standout moment from any of your events today, whether that be at Rising Sun, Coven, the Witch Sacrifice?
One of the things I was thinking about was something that Sam had already mentioned, which is the kind of rituals and crazy human sacrifice that we did for that event. And at one time, one of the rituals, not planned at all, no one was told to do this, but one of the rituals started happening, and this packed dance floor, everyone just knelt down. And it was this whole surreal thing that happened, and it was just very weird and amazing. And I think one of my other favourite memories was Saturday at the last event, when we'd obviously had this crazy week bumping in, and Friday a lot of people were there, but not everyone was there yet. And on Saturday, everyone was there. Activities were going in full swing, and everywhere you looked, there was something happening. And I was like, the fire circle had just started. It was dusk. And I was just watching that kind of start up and looking around, and just at that moment, it all kind of hit me that I succeeded in doing this crazy thing, and everyone was having such an amazing time, and it was just a crazy feeling. It was, I'll never forget it. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's right up there. I think similarly had a feeling like that on the Sunday. The Saturday night, I gave myself the silliest slot. I played from 4 till 6 in the morning. And then everyone went outside and watched the sunrise. And it was the most fantastic sunrise. And it was just this kind of perfect moment. Went to bed and then got woken up because this huge storm had rolled in. And we had, everyone who was out, we had a dance floor in this little space. And our operations manager was like, there's lightning strikes 100 meters from here. We need to get everyone out. And so we're trying to coordinate this, moving everyone into the inside stage, and it was chaos. It was raining, and we had to sort of cancel doing the outdoor stage that afternoon because the rain was so bad. So everyone was inside, which was an amazing vibe, still heaps of fun. But then we had this break of rain, and our production team and our ops manager and some of our stage managers were like, we could fire up the main stage for the last hour of the day. We could do that in 5 minutes and get everyone out there. And they did. Everyone worked really quickly, and just the main stage came alive again. Everyone was out there, the sun was shining, the bubble machines were blowing, and it was just this crazy moment where everyone came together at the end after this really wild weather. But the whole time everyone was just in this crazy good space. No one cared that that it had rained. No one was upset by any of that. It was nothing could really go wrong. It felt everything was just happening for all the right reasons, and everyone was all there for it. So that was that for me, I think, was the moment. It was wow, what an amazing thing to have been part of. That was really cool.
Wow. I think that's a great note to end on. So thank you so much. I'll put in the show notes where people can buy tickets, because I think after listening to this, people will absolutely want to and should. So thank you both for joining me and dealing with the noise, which I hope doesn't come through in the audio a bit later.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And shout out Chapel Street. It's all happening here.